Right, and good evening. I see the messages coming in, and tonight, Dimitri and we've got our shirts on, so we're looking good for the webinar tonight. And hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We've got already a record number of people here tonight with us for this webinar, the Design Kit 2.0. The big surprise, and I think started already February, March, earlier this year, the first time, but we'll talk about that later. So let's first get around a little bit about the session goals, and then Dimi and I will introduce ourselves for tonight. Right, so of course, we're going to show you the Design Kit 2.0, which you've known about for quite some time, and which I've had the privilege of playing with in the last month. And I'm in love with it. It is really great design. And Dimitri will share later with us after we've watched the intro a little bit about the idea behind it. Also, the global styles that are coming with it. You are all aware that you get global styling for the colors, and we're going to show you how these global styles integrate with the kit. And then we'll look at when we are going to launch the design kit. I know, promises and a little bit delay here and there, but just a little bit more. Okay, right. So tonight, 50 to 60 minutes, maybe shorter, much shorter than last time, because it's in a nutshell what we're going to show you tonight. The examples that we are going to show you will be pre-recorded, so that will help us to get in touch with you in the chat room. So I see a lot of you. I'm just having a look quickly there from Vietnam. Vietnam, what time is it there? It's midnight in Vietnam. Hawaii must be just morning. Lebanon, good evening. Italy, good evening. And then India, also, you guys, I think it's about 9 o'clock over there. 11 over there. So yes, a lot of you, late night, early mornings, very welcome. And then all over the world. It's great to see so many people joining. We got Hungary there. Anthony, I just saw you there. Okay, so I'm beginning to recognize the names now all the time. And also for those of you from the Facebook community, it's very good to see you guys come here, go back to the community and have a chat on this. And always let us know where we can improve. So at the end, we're going to have a small surprise for you. So stick around for that. And I'm going to say that maybe you will be pleased with that. And of course, no tech support in the webinar. Please, guys, I'm not a techie. So you have to stick to the questions related to the topic in the webinar. We'll be happy to answer those, everything around the kit. Right, so here I am again, and I think I need to change the photo next time. I want to put on something much cooler, my nice shirt. And guys, yeah, so a little bit again about me, same thing there. I have a very multicolored background, and websites had become part of my life about 10 years ago. So I saw in Dimi's slide, he was talking about HTML. I came on board because of WordPress. I was working with a client one day, and they had somebody who came in and showed them how to work with WordPress. And I thought, wait a minute, are we paying this guy to do this? I can do it myself. And that's how I got involved with WordPress, because I thought I was paying someone too much money. And now the roles have been reversed. So you know me now already for some time. And it's a great community. I love working with you guys. Sometimes we get hard on each other, but that's good. Keep us on our toes. Right.
Hey guys, I'm Dimi. I'm one of the founders. Most of you know me already from the community. I have a beautiful family. I'm the founder of Brizy, and I'm one of the guys that is behind the UI and user experience of the interface and everything you experience in the builder. Actually, we're a team here, but nothing goes past me in this department of the UI and UX. So yeah, and I'm in the web business for a while now, since the time when, if you remember, we were doing design and coding everything in HTML with tables, and custom fonts were something that we only have Tahoma or Arial or things like that, and it was a nightmare for designers actually. So thanks a lot for being here with us. And I think we should get started, GP, right?
Yeah, just a few questions. I've noticed some of you saying you are in the chat room, but you cannot see refresh. And I don't know, my experience is Demio, which is the platform we are using, say it can open in any browser. If you do have any problems, just go for Chrome. If you've got Chrome or Firefox, go for those. They do work, we know that. And I've seen some others as well here. Just want to say hi to people over in Houston and China. So it's good to see all of you guys over here tonight. And then, of course, I see Dave from South Africa. Yes, okay, I see Jay says it doesn't work on Opera. It should. Demir says it should, but I would say if you guys are having problems, just go with Chrome. It's a sure bet. It's just one of those things when it comes to this. Right, so as we said earlier, the next part on the design kit is going to be pre-recorded. So if you have problem viewing that, try and refresh. We had some people last time tell us they couldn't see that part because it's pre-recorded playing directly from YouTube. So I hope most of you can see it. And it's only about, I think, 12 minutes or something. And then after that, we're going to look at the questions and give you some bigger insight into this design kit. Right, so design kit version 2. Let's see how this works. Now I'm going to open a new block or the block manager. One of my latest favorite shortcut keys is Control-Shift-A or Command-Shift-A, which will open up the block manager. So Control-Shift-A and ta-da, there you go. Right, so let's see what's going on here. Block manager, layout manager, where you can access everything. The first thing that I just want to draw your attention to is the fact that we have here kit number 2 or kit 2, version 2, as we refer to it. And it's eye candy. It's absolutely stunning and it looks good. And you can see a lot of thought and planning had gone into this. The designs are good. The layouts look good. Very conscious of grids and how the layouts and what is working at this moment and what is fashionable go-tos for website design at this moment. For those who still like the old blocks, just like I do, there is an option up here now under blocks where you can see this is kit number 2, and I'm pretty sure you can guess what's going to happen when I click here. You have the option still to load the good old kit number 1. And they are all there, and they are there available in the light and in the dark versions, as well as the categories that we got used to: cover, features, call to action, and so forth. Quite a number of them in there. In total, 134. So let's see what happens in kit 2. Kit 2, wow, 251, much more. Some of them free, some of them pro. We'll have a look at the pro later on. We have simplified the categories also to categories that are very popular, again, keeping up with trends. Like here we have hero. You can see if we click here for the hero. And then features, we have contact, gallery, call to actions, CTA. And I'm not going to scroll through all of them. Then we have some good starter blocks for text, team ones that we have over here, pricing, testimonials, and then here, of course, headers and footers. So just to go back to the hero, I want to show you the difference, or rather the changes between light and dark, because you will think light and dark, all we did is change the color, we made it darker. But let's choose an image over here, like the best street coffee shops. Observe what happens when I switch to dark for that. Not only did we make it a dark version, we also put imagery in there, the correct background images that will fit a dark scheme. So we've really thought carefully about how would these various layouts work between light and dark. So it's not just change the color, it is really about what works for dark. Of course, you probably are going to have to change it to an image and a photo that fits your site and that is relevant to what your website is about and your product or your services, your band, your company. But the idea is that at least with this display, you can clearly see the difference between light and dark and how it will affect the various displays, or rather the various themes and color themes that you will be working with. So now you have a good idea and the overview. And just to close out, it's as simple as clicking here on the plus or the shortcut key that I had just talked about, Command-Shift-A, Control-Shift-A, it brings it up. That's really, really a very good feature that I like a lot. And I say really too many times. Let's go to here and let's choose a hero image. And I'm going to scroll down. Let's grab this one here, best headphones for audio files. And there you go. So I'm going to just Control Shift A again because that's my hands are so used to it. And then under that, let's put some features. Now for features, we can keep it features, or another idea to think about features is also services, the points. These are going to be your info boxes that you will be using here. Let's see what we've got here. Let's grab one that's very, representative of what you can expect for that. I'm going to go for this one. Why choose us? Good. Let's bring in a gallery. Control Shift A, Command Shift A. Gallery. Let's grab a gallery element. Let's make this one dark so we have a little bit of variety. And then let's add a few more blocks. I'll add a team. So now I'm going to go for a light version. And what can we do here? Let's go for this one, meet our team. And then a testimonial under this. Testimonial, let's make that a dark one. And I'm going to keep the light because I'm looking at this color that I have over here. I want to keep that. So let's make the contact form under this a dark one. Dark, and then over here, contact. You see the categories are really nicely categorized, and that makes it much easier to find what you are looking for. Let's click here on this one at the top. And there in no time, we've created a very basic page where you can go ahead and you can go and change the content. Naturally, you're going to change things like images. You're going to replace it with the images that you want. You're going to replace it with text that you want. And that's how you build it out. But, and we will talk about that very soon, I would not recommend that for these colors, you just go and change the colors because they are connected to the color palette. Let's just have a look at this then. And that's it. So it's as simple as that. And then all you need to do, if you want to have a better look at what's going on there, you bring up the manager, and you can scroll through all of these. So many to choose from. And the guys had really, and it's been taking quite some time, spent a lot of time to get these things working well together with each other, with the colors, with the styling, and also to make sure that they work well in responsiveness. So let's look at these two features next. I mentioned that I wouldn't recommend you just start playing around with the colors because these are actually set now in the color palette in the global styling. So let's put it here where we've got various colors and go over to the sidebar and click on styling. You will see now a number of changes that we've been making, and there will be more changes coming as we extend the functioning of the global styling. The first one then is overpass, and that is the current color palette that you see here together with this styling. The reason it's called overpass is if you go to paragraph and you click on it, you will see the font that we're using for this one is called overpass. Then if you click on the drop down, a number appears here. And if you like the traditional one, there's the kit number 1 default color scheme over there. Let's have a look at magazine. And as I go through these, you will see the color interface and how that changes, as well as how the fonts and styling change. Let's go for another one, graceful. And these have been really carefully crafted and selected to ensure that it displays well and that it works with all the blocks. Let's have a look at Ashen. Okay, this is a thicker font, something more youthful and joyful in my corral, and then Oblivion. Right, so you can see color changes, fonts change. Let's scroll a little bit down here to the bottom as well. Have a look here at the message at the button. Let's choose another one, droid. These are not the droids you're looking for. And let's have one more, exquisite. Very good color palettes to start with. And the reason I mentioned to you earlier why I wouldn't just go ahead and change the colors is that maybe with these palettes, these pre-made palettes, you're going to find a palette that is going to suit your needs, or just some of them you want to make a few changes here and there. What you have to be aware of is that when you are viewing the blocks in the block manager, you are going to see them in this default teal display. You see, if I put it on dark, you will immediately notice that teal color over there. That color comes from the setting in styling at the top, which is overpass. And I want to sort of say overpass is currently like the default. This is your default palette. And what happens often, I know, is when people go into the block manager and they add a new block, they see how it looks here and they like the color, they like the styling, everything as it looks here. So the reason I'm saying this is that if you want to go ahead and make custom changes to the styling, I would recommend don't use overpass. Go through the rest of these guys, and maybe you come here to Chubby and you look at Chubby and say, nah, not my style, I'm never going to use it, I'm working on a corporate site, this doesn't look corporate to me, something like that. Then you go and you make changes here. So if I say, for example, I want the background to be like a darker blue for that one over there that we have, and then I want to have my text, or that one, I think this is custom. Oh no. Okay, so let's see. The guys really put a lot of time in that. You can make changes. You'll just have to be aware of the changes over here as well. And let's say over there, that's icon. It's going to be this one, and we make that a different color. Right. So this is why I would recommend that if you want to make custom changes, leave overpass, leave the default. These things will change eventually, but leave it for now. Leave overpass as your default setting, and then go ahead and change one of the others, something that you don't like, something that you think it's okay if I mess it up. No default, no restore at this moment. Right. So there you go. That's how it works. Let's go back into the block manager and just look at what we've got here in terms of free versus pro. I'm showing you this currently in the free version so that you can clearly see where the pro blocks are. Naturally, the header and the footers are pro features, so these will only be included in Brizy Pro. If you go through the others, you will see the little pro up there. And if you own the free, well, can you own something that is free? I guess you can. If you use Brizy Free and you think, oh boy, this one block here just convinced me to go pro, then all you need to do is here click on the Get Brizy Pro and it will take you into that. And you will see there are many free options here. So it's not like we skimped out on that. Definitely not. But there are benefits. If you go and look at the pro ones, they are really well thought out and they are going to really do wonders for your website. So great options for the free, great options for the pro. Yeah, look at these pricing options. Looks really well designed. Have to give the team 100% thumbs up for that. Right, I think the last thing that we have to look at in our new design kit version 2 is the amount of effort that went into making sure that these blocks are fully responsive. It's very easy. We all know designing something to sit down and make it look good on the desktop. In fact, I think we still struggle with that, but that has somehow watered down in this day and age with mobiles, that most people access websites through their cell phones. It's not watered down. All I want to say is that we think too big, and sometimes the display on the mobile is far more simpler. And it's quite challenging because you have to work with both those concepts. And that's why it sounds like a good idea. You just check for mobile responsiveness. But at the end of the day, that's also a small art that you have to master when you are making websites. So let's have a quick overview again of this page. And then without making any changes myself, I'm going to show you how it will look on a tablet. Right? Nothing wrong with that one. Looking pretty good. And then mobile. And you can make changes wherever you think you would maybe prefer a little bit more space on the mobile, or you want to reduce space or make the font a little bit smaller. And remember, don't do it over here. You go and do it over here. Let me just see. If we look at Meet Our Team and you click on that, that is a heading 1. So do not go and make your changes in mobile over here. you go and do that within your styling. So you go over here to heading 1 and then click here for mobile, and then you can reduce your size from here. Right, that's a much better approach. It gives you full control over your site globally and makes it so much easier if you need to change something for your mobile, tablet, and now also the desktop. So that's it, not only in a nutshell, but probably also in a coconut shell. Right. Okay, guys, thanks for the questions. I've noted a few down, and Dimi and I will discuss them now. And if you have any questions regarding the kit, you can add them now here. I'm pointing there because my screen is over there. But Dimi, I think before I go through some of the questions that I've noted down,
yeah, sure.
Tell us a little bit about the background of the kit, and then let's work backwards. Responsiveness, because I know you told me you guys spend a lot of time making sure that things are responsive.
Yeah, you can say that we took our sweet time to actually put this together. I think it's one of the most well put together kits on the internet right now. I'm exaggerating a bit, but you get my point. We've actually the design was basically done a long time ago. We spent some time on integrating them in Brizy, but interestingly enough, that was not the main portion of time that was spent, because working with Brizy and integrating blocks, it's fairly easy, and our colleague Gabi is an ace on this, so he just goes through them, right? But what the most time we spend on making them responsive, making them fit together perfectly. So basically, if you can just randomly pick blocks and put it on the page, I 100% vouch and guarantee that they will fit together perfectly. And
if someone will find they don't fit, it will be me.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. No, that's not true. Yeah,
right.
And the second part we've spent on putting together the styles. You select those styles and you see that you've added there, GP, I think you've added a couple of blocks, 5, 6 blocks or something like this, but you can add them, all of them you can add them, and you'll see that every color, and there will not be any problems in contrast, and everything was put by hand, and basically this is where we sunk all the time to make it perfect. It's perfectly responsive, and also all the blocks fit together excellent, and the styles are handpicked by my colleague Bogdan. I know he spent weeks tweaking, and yeah.
Right, so let's look at a few of the questions, and I think some of them pretty good. I know we answered most of them in the chat, but I think maybe some of you were watching the video, you don't check the chat. So let's talk about the color. There was a lot around the color palette, and the one question is, if there are future updates in the future, if the color palette were to change, how will it affect the blocks, or what do you envision for color palette for the future?
What we need to do now, and we are discussing about it, and we'll have this improvement in place at some point, I think in the near future. There is a small issue there that if you want to create your own palette, you'll basically, as you said in the video, you'll basically need to edit one of the palettes that is already there, and there is no going back, right? If you edit Chubby and change some colors, you basically can't go to Chubby again. But and we'll have this in place, a reset button or something like this. We're still discussing about this functionality. Or maybe we'll have a custom style that it's or your own style, and you'll edit the colors and things right there. I saw that the guys were asking in the chat what's happening with, because in the video we showcased the global colors and the styles. What's happening if they did something on the page, or if they need some pages different styles, right? You only just go to that page and set everything to custom colors. That's basically it. And on next updates, if we do some, if you add basically other styles, nothing will be affected, right? What you save as a custom color, it's king. we give you custom global styles, but everything you set as a custom color, that goes, right? We don't ever change it again. Of course, if you want, you can link it again, text or a button or something with the global setting. But yeah.
Right. I think Anthony asked about block templates, and I did know you answered him, but just for everyone, currently the new kit does not include any block blocks, right?
Yeah, the reason why that doesn't happen, you gave me the yeah, is because we are still planning a bunch of improvements on the dynamic part of Brizy. We all know that there is a lot to work on there. We have it, it works. I would dare to say it's not actually 100% the Brizy way how we want to do it, but it does work right now. We have a bunch or list of a bunch of improvements there, starting with displaying content and not see all those blocks with placeholders and things like that. And once we'll have those improvements, we want to create a design update based around the blogs and around the templates and things like that, but not give you 3 blocks with. We want to actually give you an update, right? To make it count. But we want to hold on for those improvements.
Right. Guys, if you have problems, I still see some people say they can't hear or they can't see. Control F5 or F5 or control refresh your screen. If that doesn't work, try Chrome. And if that doesn't work, you're out of luck. But you're not out of luck, because there will be, you will get a link to this recording after this webinar as well on YouTube. We will post it. Coming back to it, I know our Brizy Cloud is still basically in demo stage. And the question was, are this kit, is it available in Brizy Cloud? How will the...
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Okay.
Again, let me just go back a bit. I'm sure we have a lot of new guys here, and the builder, the Brizy builder, is the same, basically, in the cloud and in WordPress. We don't develop 2 different builders. That would be you saw the internal board, right, GP? Right. You saw us there, yeah.
Thousands.
Yeah, so it would be madness to have 2 separate development trunks. So the builder is the same in the cloud and in the WordPress. What you will not find in the cloud is basically the dynamic part of WordPress, right? You will not find an element WooCommerce. Of course you will not, because it's WordPress functionality. So everything that we update the builder and it doesn't have something related at the fundamental level with WordPress, you can assume that it will be in the cloud as well. So basically, yes, the kit will be in the cloud as well, for sure. It's just a matter of updating that part of the builder that is used in the cloud. But yeah.
Great. Okay, so there's a little bit confusion, and I see some of you say you are pretty new to Brizy, and I want to say we've had a few people here tonight who told us they just picked up Brizy recently, so welcome. Very welcome, and we hope to see you guys join our webinars and give us feedback as well. This is a very lively and grueling and very honest community in so many senses, and we appreciate that. So the difference between the Kit 1 and Kit 2 is that last year, Brizy had released pre-made blocks, which you can use to build your website with. And we have updated that with a new release or a new design set, and this is what we're calling Kit 2. For both the free and pro, you're going to get Kit 1 and Kit 2, different styles, but some of those blocks will only be in the pro version. One thing I just want to say, if you guys notice, for this Kit 2, it's actually over 500 new blocks. 251 is for the light and 251 is for the dark versions. And as I explained in the video, you cannot just say we took white and we made it dark. What we did is we carefully looked at imagery and everything to make sure that the dark isn't just a negative of the light. So you are going to get Kit 1 and Kit 2, and I'm pretty sure this is something that maybe in the future will be integrated. It is something that we will see how it will work. And I don't think it's the end of the blocks. There will be coming more, right, Timmy?
Yeah, for sure. This is. It took a while for us because when we started the build, when we started Brizy, we had, as you know, we had only one. And as you said it, we had only one kit, right? And we later on we've decided and figured out that our users and clients want more kits on different and on different designs and niches and things like that. But Brizy as a system and the foundation couldn't support this switch that you see there, the drop down that enables you to switch between the two kits. It may have seemed that is only a drop down and it's easy to implement, right? You just a little drop down, but at the fundamental level, there were and a lot of work involved in it to make it work with two different kits with different styles and global colors and things like that. So that took a while to make, but now that we have the functionality in place, it's just a matter of designing them, making them responsive, and then put them in. It's just a matter of doing that. So basically, we can add at any time another kit.
Right. So I see a lot of people are saying, "Can you do this? Can you do that?" And my advice is, once it launches, you are going to play with it, and all your answers, all your questions will be answered within a minute or two. It is so intuitive. It's easy to use. You're going to love building with it. And if you are ever stuck for an idea, starting with a pre-made block is really going to help you. So the launch is yes. I know this is going to be probably the final question from all of you. When? So we will get there. We will get there. So I think if I look at the questions here, Dimi, for me, I think what I found for this kit, everything we've basically covered, and I see the people in the chat room had been very helpful with that as well. Any comments you still want to add before we do our surprise for the night?
No, I think we're good. I think they're waiting for the surprise. So it's better just to go there, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Put on your seatbelts.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at a few. Let's have a look at a few of the upcoming interesting parts of the pop-up and pop-up builder that will be available for Brizy Pro. So I have here already a pop-up open, as you can see, but this is not done within the builder. This is actually done within the Brizy tab or the Brizy menu within the WordPress feature. So currently there are two parts. One will be within the builder where you can have your click on. So if you have a button and you want people to click on it, pop up. But then for your conditions and your triggers, it's going to be within the WordPress area. So you will go to your Brizy and you'll set it up there. This is just a teaser, so I'm not going to show you everything. And there's still a lot of work in progress. So just to whet your appetite for this. Let me first show you quickly a few things regarding our styling options, because at this moment even you cannot see it. If you see, I hover over here because I've already been playing a lot. If I hover over here with my mouse, my cursor up here, the hand goes there. So what is there? And that's my own problem. When I click on it, it will open up this. So the first thing I'm going to do is change the color so you can see what's going on. So you see we have far more control over the styling regarding the close out button. So if I click on the close out button, you can choose a lot of things here. You can choose where it is positioned on the outside or the inside. You have more control over the horizontal and vertical position as well as the size for that. One of the very nice features is this option over here. Let me click on it again, and if I click on this, it will cycle through the various corners of the pop-up. Hey, that's nice. I like it. Very nice thinking over here. Let's just have a look quickly for our overlay. Go to the block and then the overlay will be applied over here. Let's give that a little bit of a color so that you can understand how that works. Of course, now you can also apply a background like so. Then of course for that you can reduce it, but make sure you have a good resolution image. But let's leave it like that for now. And then again, also while I'm here in the block, observe these two up here. This is going to be for your horizontal alignments, and this one up here for your vertical alignment. So if you want it up there in the corner, bottom, and then back in the center. And now it's getting like a puzzle. I have to figure out where it goes. So let's change this one, and we change the color also back to white, and there's hover options for that as well. So look at all those nice styling features that's coming in. Excellent. Now let's look at a few of those triggers and where will you find that. So this is not really a block. This is your pop-up settings up here. So if you click on it, what we are used as a block, if you're working directly in the builder, this is your pop-up settings, and all the way to your left you will see the pop-up functions appear over here, and then you have make it global, scroll page, and then this is the one we are looking at over here, set up pop-up. Right, so I'm going to click on that, and this will bring us into our triggers and conditions where we scroll page, and then this is the one we are looking at over here, set up pop-up. Right, so I'm going to click on that, and this will bring us into our triggers and conditions where we will be doing the settings within this box. You can add more than one trigger, and if you look down here, let's have a look. Show on devices on where we will be doing the settings within this box.
Technology again.
You can add more than one trigger, and if you look down here, scroll down, you have on page load, on click, after inactivity, on page exit intent, show after X, show on devices, on scroll arriving from, hide for logged in users. So if you use something like on scroll and hide for logged in users, naturally you can add more conditions because you want to apply that for different settings and different pages. And then here you also have all users, and you can choose custom. This is for your hide logged in users. Before I show you one or two here, let's have a look at conditions. Where do you want to display it? So here is a few. JP test, this is what I've already done. I want to exclude it, and I want to exclude it. And then you have also inclusion. You can choose here which pages, and then here you will have your pages selected from here, and you can add that. All your conditions can be set. You can choose here which pages, and then here you will have your pages selected from here, and you can add that. All your conditions can be set over here. Now if I want to delete this first, because I don't want any conditions at this moment, I just want to show you how one or two of the triggers will work. So let's go to the most common trigger, and that will be on page load. Click on page load, and this will be after how many seconds it will display. So not to make you wait forever, let's leave it on 5 seconds. Let's save this, and then click out. Then we also update the page just to make sure. And I already have it here on the front end. So what I'll do is I will just reload this page. Right, so we load the page, we give it a few seconds, and then here it comes. There we go. You can click on that, and of course you can set the settings as well, how to remove the pop-up. Let's have a look at one more. Go over here to pop-up, set a pop-up, and then on page load, let's use after inactivity 30 seconds. I'm not going to waste your time. Let's put it also on 5 seconds, which is also feels like an eternity if you sit and watch a video online and there's dead air for 5 seconds. Save, and then I'm going to update as well here. And let's go back here to this page. Let's reload our page. And then I'm just going to scroll down, give it some activity, and then I get to the bottom, or I get here. My cell phone rings. I decide I want to answer my cell phone first, and then and there it comes after 5 seconds. Good. And shall we do one more? I think let's do one more. Let's go to that settings, set up on page exit intent. Save, and then update. And what this one will do is to trigger the intent. Let's just reload the page. Intent when do you have the intent of exiting a page? That's usually when you go to the top of, oh, there I did it already. If you go here to the top, now it's not going to work. I already triggered it. So let's reload it again. And I'm going to scroll. And as long as you're scrolling like this and you go around and you just view, it will not activate the page exit intent. Page exit intent will be activated the moment you move your cursor up here to where you are going to be typing in a new address. And that is going to be when it will be activated or triggered, because now you have the intent of typing in a new address. And that's why it will pop up at that moment. Right. So are you teased enough? I hope so. Let's just have a look again at that. All the features, so you can have a good idea. You have on click. And then you have after inactivity, which did that. Show after X, after how many page views on the sites or how many sessions. What on page exit, we did that. Show on devices. And that will be typically a new trigger condition that you will add on top of another one. So if you only want this pop-up to appear on the desktop, you put it there. And if you want to have it appear also on a tablet but not on a mobile, then you go on show on devices and you put it on tablet. Now that pop-up will only appear on these two devices. And what else do we have here? We had show on devices, on page load, on scroll, show tag. Yeah, we've covered them all. So there you go. Great triggers, conditions, still a work. The progress, we've gotten it quite the distance already. And I love, again, the interface. Once you start working with it, you're going to be super impressed as well. Right. So you have an idea of how the pop-ups look, and I had the great opportunity of playing around with it. So, Dimitri, to me, it looks ready. So what still needs to be done to the pop-ups?
We're tidying things up right now. It's the interface. We need some small things, some small issues appear here and there. Some labels are not how they are supposed to be, and things like that. But we're there. It works. All the conditions and the triggers are tested and work. Yeah, you can basically do with the pop-up after this update. You'll be able to do everything you want with it. We have a bunch of conditions there. You can set pop-ups to be displayed when you arrive from a certain URL, or when they come from Google, or when a bunch of. You can play with it. It's never going to end, right? But you need to be careful, because too many pop-ups on a website,
yes.
you might scare users away. But it's a thing that will help you for sure convert a lot of potential users, get a lot of subscribers for your newsletters. Yeah, it will help you a lot. We are, the pop-up, the first pop-up. We knew we had to extend it this way, but in software development in general, and when you're working with tools like that, you need at some point to take a decision, right? It's bottom line, it's also a business decision that you need to take. We are not living in an ideal world where you can sit on things 3-4 years to develop them until. So we needed to bring the first version of pop-up out. And now we basically complete the set of features, and we are really proud of it. I think this is actually another thing that is done the Brizy way 100%, and I'm sure you all will love it. It's great.
Right. Yeah, I think the community is getting out of hand. They are saying the lifetime license should go up to $600. Thanks, guys. We think the product is worth more.
Don't say it again, right?
Right. So, okay, so you guys have seen the pop-ups, and like Dimitri had mentioned earlier, there is a lot of stuff in the works. And I think that the previous release, when we had done the previous webinar with the core coding, that the changes that the team have made, you're going to see far more and quicker things coming out in the coming weeks. It's always an issue when we cannot make a promise on the launch, when that is going to happen. Things just happen at the last minute. So yes, it is not always possible to do that.
Yeah, because it's a two-edged sword, right? You say in a week, and I'm most guilty of it, right? Because I've said a lot of times I said 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and the guys in the community started to joke about it, right? 2 weeks again, right?
Yeah.
But it's a two-edged sword. If you go to on the route that you don't give it, right? When it's ready, right? You'll get it when it's ready, and that's it. I'm not sure if some prefer that approach, but I'd like to give something, but it's not always accurate, because this is how it works, right?
Yeah.
You encounter things, you need to fine tune things, and yeah.
Right. So, guys, the webinar is almost, but don't log off yet. Don't do that yet. We're not done. Give us another 2 minutes. So the kit, yes, you saw the kit tonight, a lot of work that's gone into it. And I know there are many of you that had been waiting for a very long time. And I'm hoping for the day of the launch of the kit, so that no one asks a question about when is the kit release on Facebook again. And you've seen the pop-up. There are quite a number of other things on the list as well. So before we go, one more thing we want to say before we go, and I think, Dimitri, I'll give you the honors to say this.
Yeah. Sure, guys, before you go, one small thing. Know that the pop-up update, the Design Kits 2.0 is live. So basically, our colleagues launched it a few seconds ago. So you have, you can go play, right?
Yeah.
we can't hear the cheers, unfortunately, but the chat is going wild. So I think we did good, right?
Yeah. Right, so thank you very much. This video replay will be sent to you in the link after this, and then it will be posted in YouTube in the coming week. We'll see you on the forum, and I hope you have a good night, a good morning, and a good afternoon.
Know that WordPress updates, you'll need to check for the update, right? And also update the Pro as well.
Right.
Okay, perfect. Bye, guys. Thanks for a great night.
Everyone. Good night. Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah.